Hi, this is the Ivy League astrologer with Vedic Scorpio for February 2015. All right, Scorpios. Your first card out is the Ace of Cups, which I love. Looks like some new ideas are coming into your field of vision. Like there's sort of a spiritual rebirth that's at hand. And it may be something that's kind of coming together from the bits and pieces of your daily life, but is also just kind of being presented to you, like spiritually, emotionally, kind of not exactly out of nowhere, but it may look to other people like it is kind of out of nowhere. But I think it's something that's been gathering for a while. And I think, yeah, it is sort of like it's time for a renewal. It's time for you to work from your emotional center a little bit more, I think. And I think you're finally kind of ready to bring whatever has been brewing out into the open, like up into your life. Kind of ready to dive in on some level. And let people know maybe what you've been thinking. Let people kind of see your light, shine your light a little bit more on the world. But shine your light a little brighter. Yeah. Yeah, I see you kind of ready to like reap the fruits of your long labor, whatever problem or issue you've been working on for a long time. I see you ready to kind of let that not only out in the open, which this next card is telling me to, but just to, I see you ready to like embrace the world in a different way. And ready for like the springtime after whatever like winter has been going on in your mind. Ready to fly your flag as well. Yeah, there's a lot about openness, being out in the open. And yeah, I also see you either hearing someone else's take on things, someone else's secrets, and that lightening your load as well. Or hearing what's going on with them, what's happening inside, or else revealing what has been happening with you and maybe between you and another person, so that you and the person you're telling can be on an equal footing. I feel like right now you may feel like if you have something to reveal, you may feel like you don't deserve this person, or like they're in a higher station than you are. And your goal here is to make it so that you guys can see eye to eye. And in some cases, I think this is going to be telling someone about your poverty in a way. Like telling somebody if they have hopes of you that you can't fulfill, then you're telling them that. And also maybe that you found someone else. So, interesting month potentially. Or maybe it's seeing this other person makes you realize that what you thought you had with someone is not going to work, or is not what you really want. Because I do feel like I have this feeling, and this is going to work in different ways for different people, but I have this feeling of like someone who's like, tick tock, let's have a baby. And you never really had an intention of like fulfilling this desire of theirs or this need of theirs, but you've been like, you know, still in a relationship with them or something. And then like this is the month kind of where you're like, okay, listen, like I have really enjoyed our time together, but like this is just not going to work out because I don't want to have kids and you really do, and I can't hold you anymore. So I feel like that's going to make you feel a lot lighter to just say that. But I also feel like if that's the case, you may have someone else waiting in the wings, or have someone else that you suddenly became aware of. So it could be that kind of thing, but it could also just be that you're trying to level the playing field, or just tell somebody something that they need to know so that you can kind of reach them again, so that you guys can communicate again. And again, in some cases, I feel like it will be that you are hearing about somebody else's struggle that has been going on below the surface that you were not aware of. Like, because you've been working on your own thing over here, and then somebody else is like, no, this is going on with me. I'm really not well, or I'm really having a hard time. And, you know, and you're like, oh, I had no idea. I thought it was all good with you. And you're like, you know, and they're like, no, I'm totally falling apart. So there's a lot of richness in that card. There are a lot of different ways that could go, but I feel like this is definitely a month for things to get out in the open. And I feel like after this happens, whatever kind of out in the openness, you're going to feel light and free, you know? And like you could do anything kind of like, whew, all right. Look at me. I'm like, you know, feeling so strong, feeling so good. And I think that that feeling is justified too. Like, it's like you're finally taking this load off your own shoulders, you know? Like you have been, you've been making yourself work really hard. And it's time to be honest about who you are. So, and I think you're just going to feel really happy about that. I think it's going to be kind of an end to like indecision and an end to feeling compelled to do something a different way than you wanted to do it. Because of the way people see you, maybe. Because of, I think it's because of this kind of mask you've been wearing on top of all of your emotions. Like instead of honoring your emotions and your feelings, you've been like, this is the way I should be doing it. This is, you know, this is what people expect of me. This is how people see me. And I need that recognition. So I will do it this way. I will couch myself in this image to get this job done and just do what I'm supposed to do. But I don't think you're going to feel the need to do it that way anymore this month. So that's very positive. That's good. Just keeps coming up in everybody's reading, basically. But it's not quite as strong in your reading as it is in some. But February looks like it's going to be a month. I haven't really done the astrological outlook for February. I don't really know what's going on in the heavens, but there's probably something that explains why so many unexpected events are happening this month. But so I'd get right on that. It seems like while you're kind of feeling this new freedom, there may be something that comes along also and like lets the air out of your tires a little bit, or just like disorders your world in some way. Like, it's like just as you're kind of like, all right, let's do this. And having like, it feels like a vision for the future, but it feels also just like you're freeing yourself, and that is good no matter what. But I feel like just as you're kind of freeing yourself, this other thing may come up out of nowhere and seem sort of like it's mocking your efforts or something, you know, or just kind of like lay you low for a little while. Like you're like, oh, well, that's not what I thought was going to happen at all. And it may kind of feel like all the life is draining out of a situation, or like things are really turned upside down. But again, the big thing about this month for everybody. But again, this is getting you to where you need to go. This is actually helping to build your home in the world somehow. And yeah, there may be some pain associated with it, but even that pain is somehow leading you to your home, to your right place. So that's interesting. I think you're going to meet somebody or be reunited with somebody that really contains your emotions. It's like once you allow yourself this emotional freedom, you're going to meet somebody who matches that. And that person is going to affect healing for you, and that person may also need healing from you. You may be different from this person, you know, like there may be some external differences, but you know that inside you're very similar. But I think it's also just that, like, while you might be a little bit, I don't think this is going to be true for everyone either, this part, but I think that while you might be in a little bit of a rush because you're so liberated, yeah, because of this strong sort of sun energy, renewal energy of like, wow, like all I had to do was set myself free. You know, I feel like you might be in a little bit of a rush to be like, okay, like let's make this happen, you know, like let's just, yeah. And this other person may just need to take it a little slower, a little more slowly, and may even just be in a more somber period of life for some reason. But I wouldn't let that deter you. Like, I think it feels like it's something you might need to come back to or something. You know, like you're so excited about this new freedom that you kind of forgot that there's other stuff you have to work on or something, or there's other things to be worked out. But I feel like you're keeping your eyes on this prize as you're kind of trying to work towards whatever needs to be done first before you can circle back around to this home that you want to build, this place that you want to end up with somebody. Yeah, and it feels very much like you've got the Wheel of Fortune upright here too. And it feels like it's just things that have to be dealt with. Feels like the time will come, but like more study is needed, or more kind of an awareness of all the factors at play. But I feel like you're not going to miss this opportunity, and you're going to be imbued this month with the desire for it in such a way that it's internal, and it's going to be with you as you may have to walk away from it for a while. But I feel like it stays with you. And like you are going to work to undo whatever injustice needs to be undone in order to get to this place. And this is kind of a may or may not really be unjust depending on your situation. But like whatever you feel like needs to be righted in order to make this thing that you want happen, you're going to go and work on it, I feel like. And for some of you, it really is unjust, and you're going to figure out a way to right it. And for some of you, you may have to accept that what looks like injustice to you is really justice by a higher order. So, interesting month. Interested to hear how this works out for you. And yeah, please comment below. If you want a personal reading, get in touch with me at the Ivy League Astrologer at gmail.com. And thanks so much for watching. Happy February.